अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं फ़खरुर रहमान और आप देख रहे हैं मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल डे न्यूज़। टुडे आई विल स्टार्ट माय vlog in English and it is focused on freedom of press in Pakistan. Let me just give you a very sad news that my colleague, my very good friend, senior journalist Arshad Sharif, Pakistan's most credible, objective doing journalist, yes, Arshad Sharif, he has quit ARY News, or ARY News has parted its ways. Let me tell you what is ARY News. ARY News is Pakistan's most popular news channel. It's been over 2 decades that ARY News has been on air, and Arshad Sharif had been associated with ARY News as a senior journalist, as a senior anchor for the last many years. And ARY News has become a voice of millions in Pakistan and abroad. The reason is that the news channel which I am telling you has been doing objective journalism, and it became very popular among the people when the government of former Prime Minister Imran Khan was overthrown by virtue of no confidence move by the opposition parties, which are in number 14. I mean, the cluster of these opposition parties is 14 in number, and they all brought a unanimous vote of no confidence move against Imran Khan in March this year, and it was succeeded on 9th of April, and the Imran Khan government was toppled. Now, it was generally believed, and across the country it has become a matter of belief for the people, that the government of Imran Khan was ousted as a result of US instigated regime change operation. ARY News had been exposing all these moves, all those cronies, all those proxies of US in Pakistan, whether they are in politics, whether they are in media, and whether they are in other institutions of Pakistan. Arshad Sharif, the bureau chief of ARY News, Sabir Shakir, both came under huge pressure. Sabir Shakir was doing his program also as a host, the reporters, and Arshad Sharif was doing his another program, The Power. Let me just tell you, because you might notice my pauses, because I am very much emotional at the moment, because Arshad Sharif is my very good friend and I know him. He is an upright person. He has been doing journalism on the basis of documents, hard evidence, and the popularity of Arshad Sharif was not acceptable, and the truth that he was exposing was not acceptable to power corridors. That is why he and his organization had to face a lot of pressure. He has been charged, he has been accused of sedition, he has been accused of mutiny, he had to get his bail, and when the matter became life-threatening, he had to quit Pakistan, and he is in UK at the moment, somewhere, I don't know. But I wish him safety and happy moments, because I know he will come back. But the most important element, which also agonizing for me, is that he is away from his kids and family. This is the most difficult situation for a person. After all, a journalist also a human being. So these are hard times for him, and I know that how he must be going through. Anyhow, let me move forward. I just want to tell you that not only Arshad Sharif and Sabir Shakir are the senior journalists of Pakistan who are facing these media curbs, but overall Pakistani media is under huge pressure. it is facing a fascist tactics, fascist acts of the present government. And ARY has been, as I told you, it is off air on local cable for the last almost a 1 month time, and they are suffering huge loss financially. But the rival channels are happy, and particularly those who are the US proxies in Pakistan. And they are happy that ARY remains like that. Now, what is the important point? The important point is that the target is the media channel which has been telling the people of this country the truth. And ARY News was not only telling the truth, it was exposing the lies also of the present government. As I told you, the cluster of 14 political parties is ruling Pakistan. And they have come into power by buying away members of the parliament of PTI and lured them millions of rupees, and then they borrowed their sympathies, their support and their loyalties, and that is how the Imran Khan government was toppled. So the those institutions across the world who always carries the flag of independent journalism, media freedom, I just want to give them one message, that today the independent voices of media, the independent journalists, they are facing worst type of curbs, pressures, tactics and fascist acts in Pakistan. Despite court order, despite a high court order, ARY News has not been put on air on cable in Pakistan. There has been many hearings and the court has been asking, and the people are guessing, where is the pressure coming from? Who is behind this? Who is trying to give a lesson to media? Who is trying to give a lesson to independent journalists? As I told you, not only Arshad Sharif and Sabir Shakir, but there are some other names. Imran Riaz Khan, he has a huge following on his YouTube channel, 3.5 million. And then he was doing his show on some channels like GNN, like Express News, and he had to quit his job because of pressure, because he was also one of those independent journalists who was trying to show the reality in Pakistan. And that is not acceptable today in Pakistan, that those journalists who tries to show the reality, who tries to expose the lies, who tries to expose the truth, they are not acceptable. And this is what is happening in Pakistan. Two journalists were compelled, were forced, had no choice but to quit. And now Arshad Sharif had to quit because 4,000 of his colleagues in ARY News had to suffer in terms of their job termination. So he sacrificed his job, and his organization ARY News, they decided to part its ways. You might see this, this YouTube, this Twitter message on the screen. The reason is different, and I know, that reason is not the actual reason, but there are some other actual circumstances under which Arshad Sharif had to quit ARY News, and ARY News had to part its ways. The important point which I want to also emphasize here is that those people who consider that media is an industry, they should come out of this kind of misunderstanding, because for me media is not an industry, because you don't produce fake news or real news in industry. Reality is reality, and news is news. Okay, you can't say something as a news because if it is not a news. Okay, so news means news. Okay, in a simple word. And propaganda is entirely a different thing, which many of the Pakistani national media is doing at the moment. They are happy that ARY has been put off air on cable because they have no match of their ratings with ARY News. So this is the credibility of ARY News. It has over 100 million viewership in Pakistan. On just only on YouTube, they have over 10 million viewership. So you can just gauge the popularity of this channel. So the political narrative which the opposition wants to spread in Pakistan, they were not successful, so they had to do this kind of what you can say, I would just say Machiavellian tactics. These are just dictatorship decisions. They are just trying to dictate the media that you will have to say what we have to tell you to say. So this is what is happening in Pakistan. Please join independent journalists and support their voice, and support Arshad Sharif, Sabir Shakir, Imran Riaz Khan and Arif Hamid Bhatti, who has also been forced to quit his organization. He is also an independent journalist, and he was very sad that he was not able to understand why he has come under pressure and he had to leave his job. So many journalists in Pakistan and are facing these kind of curbs, whether on social media. Many journalists, they have opted to go on social media and they are doing their journalism on social media. They have established their own YouTube channels. But as I told you, that there is a lot of polarization going on in Pakistan. There is a lot of media curbs being faced in the country, despite court orders, despite that that a person, a working journalist, gets his bail from the court. Still, he is being arrested. He has been subjected to torture, and he has been subjected to a lot of pressure. And there has been instances that one Jamil Farooqi, a senior journalist working on Ball TV, he was picked up and he was tortured. I don't have any argument that if there is any case, so he should be charged before the court of law, and the other party should come forward with whatever argument they have. But to torture someone and to just to teach him a lesson is something very unfortunate, and it should be condemned in strongest manner. For me and all for those viewers, I have done this vlog in English to put our message from Pakistan across the globe, so that people understand that what is going on in terms of media freedom in Pakistan. So please take care. I will come on with my another vlog, and to Arshad Sharif and Sabir Shakir, please stay safe and be happy, and sooner you will be returning to Pakistan, and you will be again welcome by your viewership, by your people, and